Perhaps the biggest question for the Ravens this offseason is what happens with defensive tackle Justin Madubuike. He's coming off a historic season where he led all NFL interior linemen with 13 sacks. He has rare talent, and that ability is going to get him rewarded with a very big payday. As the Ravens build out their offseason plans, Madubuike is really the first domino to fall. The way I look at it, I see three options with him, at least initially. The first is to work out a long-term deal. That's obviously a great option. The second is to use the franchise tag. And then the third is to let him walk in free agency. Now, first of all, I don't think that Madubuike is leaving. I expect him in a Ravens uniform next season one way or another. The question is just at what price. Generally speaking, the preference for both sides is a long-term deal, but it can take time to work those out. So it would not be surprising to me to see the Ravens use the franchise tag, at least initially. That's what they did if you go back a year ago. They did that with Lamar Jackson. It kind of served as a Band-Aid, and then the two sides continued to work towards that long-term contract. That's a fine approach to take, but the downside of taking that approach is that it basically eats up a good chunk of your salary cap before free agency even opens. Brian McFarland, who's a salary cap expert from Russell Street Report, joined us for an episode of the Lounge podcast, and he broke all of this down earlier this week.
If they're going to franchise Justin Madubuike at 20 to 21 million on that tag, they've got a lot of work to do in that case, because there are certainly restructures and releases they can do, but that's a big chunk of change. And if they can't, ideally get a long-term deal done before then and not have to use the tag. Long-term deal would probably return a cap number of $8 or $9 million for this year, which is a lot better than 20 to 21.
Now, this will continue to be something to monitor, as the decision on Madubuike really impacts what the Ravens do in terms of free agency overall. We dug into all of this with McFarland on the podcast, and you can check that episode out wherever you get your pods. That's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on Monday.